Okay, so this might sound funny to you, but I think one of the final tests of modern human dignity is whether you can pee without checking your phone. I know that sounds stupid, which is why I trust it. The serious spiritual tests always arrive disguised as something too small to respect. One push up a day, one glass of water, one dish, one breath before saying something you know will make everything worse. Now we have reached the toilet, which is either the lowest point of the series or maybe the most honest. Possibly both. There is something pretty revealing about bringing a phone into the bathroom. I'm not talking about emergency situations. Obviously, if you're waiting for a hospital call, a message from your kid, or something actually important, this episode isn't about that. I'm talking about the automatic, little, creepy habit where you walk into the bathroom already holding the device, as if urination itself has become unbearable without a secondary activity. You're not even in there long enough to justify entertainment. You're just peeing. The body is performing a simple biological function. I won't say how long it usually takes because we all have different pee situations, but it shouldn't take too long. And if it does, you should probably get that checked out. And if you've got it checked out and you're working on it and you have health issues, the time thing doesn't apply to you, but using the phone kind of does. But yeah, we're not talking about those special situations. But I would still substitute a phone with something else if you need entertainment or something because it takes you a long time to pee. Maybe a book or a magazine. Yes, those still exist. The body is performing a simple biological function. Ancient kings, prophets, warriors, saints, peasants, philosophers, idiots, mystics, and people who owned zero ring lights all somehow survived this experience without refreshing notifications. Then we appear in history with 5G and decide the human nervous system can't endure a bit of urinary solitude. I think that's embarrassing. I include myself in this. I have taken my phone into the bathroom for no reason. Definitely not because I needed it or because something urgent was happening. The phone was already in my hand or in my pocket, so it came with me like a tiny rectangular familiar. I would respond to a message, maybe look at a comment, or even start watching a video about Gnosticism and transcending the body, then leave with no memory of anything I had gained. That's probably the part that bothers me most. It's not even good entertainment. A lot of phone use is not pleasure. It's just this kind of interruption in your day. You don't feel nourished afterwards. At least I feel slightly more scattered, as though like a tiny animal ran through my mind and knocked everything over. Bathroom phone habit makes this obvious because the setting is so absurd. You are standing there or sitting there in one of the most basic creaturely moments of the day, and somehow the algorithm has followed you inside. No room is safe, not even the one with the plunger. This is why I think the bathroom might be the perfect place to begin reclaiming attention. Maybe not the meditation cushion or the mountain retreat. Maybe not even the silent monastery. I think it might be the bathroom, the least glamorous possible battlefield. Can you enter, do what you came to do, and leave? Can one part of life remain uncolonized by the glowing rectangle? That's the practice. That's all I'm saying. And yes, I know the obvious joke here is that people have always read in the bathroom. This is not completely new. Before phones, people read newspapers, magazines, shampoo bottles, toothpaste ingredients, whatever was available. At least I know I did. Bathroom reading has a long, weird history, but smartphones changed the scale. A shampoo bottle eventually runs out of text. A newspaper has an ending. Even a magazine can only hold so many articles before you have to confront your own existence. The phone is different. It's endless. It brings the entire world into the one place where the world used to briefly lose access to you. That's not a tiny change. The bathroom used to create a crude form of privacy. I'm not saying it's like beautiful, elegant privacy, like a getaway, but actual real privacy. The kind where your body had a task and the outside world had to wait. Now, we've trained ourselves to bring the outside world with us, voluntarily. This is why the habit feels spiritually gross to me, which is something I don't like to say, but I'm just being honest. Beyond the hygiene conversation, of course. It's the refusal of aloneness. I'm not asking for deep or noble solitude, just the most basic version. The tiny pause where nothing is required of you except being a mammal with plumbing. Apparently even that is too much. A person who can't be alone while peeing isn't doomed, but something is being revealed. The attention system has become so dependent on stimulation that even a biological interruption feels like a gap that must be filled. The phone turns every gap into a market. A pause becomes ad space. A bathroom break can become a content session. A moment of silence becomes a chance for some stranger's opinion to enter your bloodstream. Then we wonder why we can't meditate. We have removed the small silences from the day and then act surprised when large silence feels impossible. Meditation is not only built during formal practice, it's built through all those tiny moments where you don't abandon yourself. Like when you're waiting for water to boil for ramen, or when you're standing in an elevator, or sitting in the car before turning it on, walking from one room to another. Using the bathroom without inviting every app developer on earth to observe the occasion. These micro-silences matter. They teach the nervous system that not every empty moment is dangerous. When you fill every pause, the mind never gets to settle. It becomes trained in constant transition. App to app, thought to thought, message to message, outrage to joke to ad, to memory, to insecurity, to a random video of a monkey stealing cat food. Then you sit down to pray or meditate, and your attention behaves exactly as trained. It runs. You say, my mind is too active. Of course it is. You've been giving it interval training and distraction all day. The bathroom phone habit is a tiny example of the larger problem. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not even the worst phone habit, but it might be one of the clearest. The body is telling you we need to pee, but your mind is saying fine, but can we also check Reddit? I don't think this is anything more than dependency wearing the clothes of efficiency. The funniest thing is that people know it's weird. I looked around online, and Reddit is full of people describing this exact thing. A 3-minute bathroom trip turns into 15 or 20. Someone's legs go numb. Somebody realizes the bathroom has become their worst screen time location, worse than the bed or the couch. People admit that the phone is already in their hand before they have made a decision. Other people say they use the bathroom at work with their phone just to hide for a while. None of this surprises me. The bathroom is one of the last socially acceptable hiding places. At work, you can't always say, I need 15 minutes because I'm just tired of being perceived. But you can say you're going to the bathroom. Nobody wants details, unless you have some really weird coworkers. The bathroom becomes a little exile chamber where you can escape the office, the family, the responsibilities, and the constant expectation of being available. Then the phone enters that hiding place and ruins the hiding. You escaped people in order to be alone with other people. That's a weird sentence. Then there's also the physical issue, especially for people who sit on the toilet and scroll. Doctors have warned for a long time that prolonged toilet sitting is not great. A recent study got attention because smartphone use on the toilet was associated with a higher risk of hemorrhoids, likely because people sit longer when distracted. I'm not going to turn this into a medical lecture because I don't think anybody came to Idiot Mystic for a detailed hemorrhoid seminar. Also, the phrase detailed hemorrhoid seminar has probably damaged the episode already, so I don't know what to do now. I'm gonna leave it in here though. Anyway, the phone doesn't just steal your attention. It seems to alter how long you remain in a posture your body was not meant to hold forever. People joke about numb legs, aching hips, and disappearing into the bathroom for half an hour. But the body is once again giving a report. The bathroom isn't some kind of bunker where you go and consume content. That makes no sense. And I think there is something spiritually perfect about the fact that the body eventually rebels. You thought the problem was abstract, attention, dignity, distraction. Then the body comes in with the least elegant possible warning. Congratulations. Your relationship with TikTok has become a rectal health concern. Humility arrives through many doors. Some of them are bathroom doors. This is where ancient toilet lore becomes weirdly helpful. A lot of traditions treat the bathroom, latrine, or privy as a spiritually vulnerable place. That makes sense on a few levels. It's a place of waste, exposure, privacy, impurity, and bodily vulnerability. You are literally not in your most dignified combat stance. If something jumps out at you in the bathroom, you're not prepared to meet it with excellence. At least I hope not. In some traditions, there are well-known supplications before entering the toilet, seeking refuge in God from evil beings or male and female devils. I'm not bringing this up to be spooky, but I think there is a spiritual intelligence behind it. The bathroom isn't treated as a neutral lounge. You're supposed to enter with awareness, do what needs to be done, and leave. There is restraint built into the etiquette. Do not turn the bathroom into a second living room. Do not make it a place of conversation, entertainment, or lingering without need. Even if someone doesn't share the religious belief, the structure has wisdom. The bathroom is a threshold. You are dealing with the body's waste and vulnerability. It should not become a place where you invite the whole world into your attention. The ancients were even more dramatic about this. In Babylonian and Assyrian tradition, there was a figure called Sulak, sometimes described as a lavatory or a privy demon. The idea was basically that this thing lurked in the bathroom and could strike people when they were exposed. I love this because it proves humanity has always known the bathroom was suspicious. Pooping is sus. Modern people like to think we have moved beyond such ideas. We no longer believe a lion-like toilet demon is waiting near the drain. We are rational. We have indoor plumbing, antibacterial soap, and a phone that shows us 7-second videos until our will collapses. But if you ask me, the privy demon adapted. Sulak no longer needs to leap out of the toilet. He has an app. He doesn't need to possess you through ancient Mesopotamian magic. He just waits until your pants are down and shows you a notification. That might be the most accurate demonology I can give you of the modern bathroom. You enter for 1 minute. You leave 20 minutes later, knowing 3 celebrity controversies, 2 political opinions from people you can't stand, 1 extreme health fear you didn't have before, and the fact that someone from high school is now selling multi-million-dollar real estate with scary confidence. You were struck, not by a lion demon, but by the feed. Clearly, this is not a literal theological claim. You can write to me asking whether Instagram is canonically Sulak. but I'm just saying the old image is useful. A bathroom is a place where you are vulnerable, and vulnerable places require boundaries. The phone violates that boundary. It brings comparison into a place of exposure. It brings anxiety into a place of release. It brings argument into a place meant for elimination. It brings other people's voices into a space where, for once, nobody needed your opinion. Think about how weird that is. The bathroom is where the body removes what it no longer needs. Meanwhile, the mind is taking in more garbage. Symbolically, it's almost perfect. You are physically releasing waste while mentally importing it. No wonder people feel haunted. The phone in the bathroom also creates this weird overlap of categories. There should be different rooms in a life. A place to work, to sleep, to pray, to eat, to use the bathroom. Modern technology mashes them all into one. Everything becomes everywhere. You can work from bed, argue from the toilet, shop during prayer breaks, watch videos while eating, answer messages while holding your child, and check emails while half listening to someone who loves you. Convenience is the destroyer of boundaries. At first, it feels like freedom. You can do anything anywhere. Then you realize you are never fully anywhere. The bathroom phone rule is a way of rebuilding one wall. Not a huge wall or a monastery wall. Just one tiny border around one tiny act. No phone in the bathroom. That is it. The practice is almost embarrassingly simple, and that is why the resistance becomes interesting. The first few times, you may feel bored. You may reach for the phone automatically and feel annoyed when it's not there. You may discover that you do not actually know what to do with your eyes. This is where humans used to read shampoo bottles with scholarly intensity. That instinct is still in us. Give a person 30 quiet seconds, and they'll begin studying the tile grout. And I promise you, they'll start studying the tile grout like an archaeologist. That's great. Let the mind be bored for a moment. Boredom isn't always a problem. Often, it's the doorway through which the mind begins digesting experience. Some thoughts need empty space to surface. Now, I'm not saying every quiet moment will produce a revelation. Sometimes you'll just pee and leave. That's totally fine. Life doesn't have to become profound and mystical as soon as and every time you stop consuming content. There is dignity in doing one thing at a time. That sentence sounds obvious until you try living it. Doing one thing at a time means the body gets to be where it is. Peeing is peeing. I didn't think I'd ever be saying that here, but yeah, peeing is peeing. Washing your hands is washing your hands. Leaving the bathroom is leaving the bathroom. Your attention is not being dragged through an invisible marketplace while your body completes an ancient mammalian process. This is not anti-technology. I love technology. I'm such a dork. My life and podcast depend on it in so many ways. I use digital avatars, online platforms, recording software, messaging apps, and enough strange tools that I think a medieval villager would assume I'm either a wizard or just really lost. The issue isn't about whether technology is bad. The issue is whether it gets to go everywhere with us. A healthy life needs a few places where the device does not follow. The bathroom is a perfect beginning because the argument for bringing it is so weak. You don't need Reddit to pee. You don't need Instagram to survive the toilet. You do not need to answer a message while washing your hands unless the message is genuinely urgent. Most of the time, the phone is not there because it's needed. It's there because the hand has learned to carry it, and the mind has learned to fear the gap. That gap is the practice. When you leave the phone outside, the bathroom becomes briefly what it used to be. A private room where the body handles its business, and the world waits. You may be shocked by how quickly the whole thing is over. This alone is hilarious. People act like they need entertainment because the bathroom takes so long. But the bathroom often takes so long because they brought entertainment. The cause and the coping mechanism have become roommates. This is true in so many parts of life. You say you need the phone because you're anxious, but the phone is what's feeding the anxiety. You say you need background noise, especially me, because silence is uncomfortable, but the constant noise may be preventing silence from becoming familiar. Maybe it just wants to be your friend. Sometimes you say you need stimulation because your attention is weak. But in theory, outside of ADHD tendencies, it is possible your attention is weak because it never gets trained by ordinary waiting. Now, to anyone with ADHD or any attention deficit difference, I mean no offense. We can even train our attentions. They don't get perfect, but there is room for improvement. The bathroom habit is just one small loop you can break. No phone while peeing. No phone while sitting on the toilet. No scrolling while your body is trying to complete a task. If you need to hide from your family, be honest with yourself and sit somewhere else for 5 minutes. If you need a break at work, take a break if you can. Do not make the toilet bear the entire weight of your emotional life. I think it's suffered enough. I also think there's a respect issue here. Respect for the body, first of all. The body has a function, so let it function. Please do not trap it in awkward posture while your mind gets lost in comment sections. I've done it. It's horrible. Respect for other people too. If you're texting someone from the toilet, they don't know that. Maybe they don't need to know. Well, some of my friends tell me, but spiritually, there's something strange about giving someone your attention from a place where you're not really available with dignity. I understand that this is normal now. Normal isn't the same as healthy. There is respect for prayer and meditation as well. Many traditions discourage sacred speech in the bathroom for a reason. Again, even outside a religious frame, the idea makes sense. Not every space is for every act. We become more integrated when we stop dissolving all boundaries. The bathroom is not the place to receive spiritual downloads from strangers on social media. It is not the place to decide your worldview, or the place to fight in comments, or the place to check whether your post is performing well. That's when I've done way too much. It's not the place to compare your life to someone filming themselves near a cliff in linen pants. I really need to get some of those, though they look very comfy. The bathroom is for bathroom things. We are so broken that this now sounds like wisdom. That is where we are. The practice isn't meant to be dramatic. In fact, drama would ruin it. Don't announce a 30-day no-phone bathroom challenge unless you absolutely must make everything content. Just stop bringing it in. Leave the phone on the counter outside. Put it on a shelf. Keep it in another room. If you live with people and need the phone for safety or emergencies, keep it nearby, but don't unlock it. The point is just to reclaim a small patch of undistracted existence. You may fail quickly, and that can be useful. Notice the automatic reach, or how the hand looks for the device before the mind has given permission. Notice how boredom appears almost instantly. Notice how a part of you feels deprived, even though nothing has actually been taken away from you, except stimulation during urination. That deprivation shows how deep the habit has gone. Don't shame yourself. There's no need. Shame usually makes habits much more pronounced, and pronounced dramatic habits love a comeback. Just observe it. Laugh if you can. There's something funny about realizing your spiritual growth has led you to the advanced practice of not looking at your phone while peeing. Then try again. The first result may be practical. Bathroom trips get shorter. You wash your hands and leave. You stop losing time. Your legs are much less likely to fall asleep during those unnecessary toilet marathons. The room becomes less of a scrolling chamber. The second result is a little more subtle. Some silence returns. A tiny part of the day is no longer monetized, optimized, tracked, performed, or filled. Nobody gets that minute. No app, no imaginary argument, no algorithmic demon wearing the face of a recommendation engine. Just you, your body, and the reminder that not every gap needs to become content. That reminder can spread. You may stop checking your phone in the elevator. You may pause before opening it in bed. You may let the kettle boil without needing entertainment. You may sit in the car for 10 seconds before leaving. You may become a person who can exist between activities without immediately outsourcing consciousness. This is how attention is rebuilt. Not only through heroic digital detoxes where someone disappears into the woods and returns 3 days later with a beard or insanely long hair and unbearable opinions about society. From my experience, attention is rebuilt through small refusals. The bathroom is a tiny refusal. No, you cannot have this minute. No, the feed does not get to follow me into every room. No, the world can wait while I pee. There's something genuinely spiritual in that. The old traditions were right to treat the bathroom as a special place. Not because the room is evil in some weird cartoon way, but because the vulnerability requires your awareness. You enter, you seek protection, you handle what the body needs, you clean yourself, and you leave. There's a beginning and an end. There's etiquette and order. The modern phone destroys the ending. It says, stay a little longer, maybe forever. Watch one more thing, read one more argument, check one more message. You came here for the body, but now the mind belongs to us. That is the privy demon. Maybe literally, maybe not literally. Maybe literally enough. I don't know. Maybe it's just the demon. Anyway, so here is the whole practice. Do not bring your phone into the bathroom unless there is a real reason. If you bring it, don't unlock it. Let bathroom time return to being bathroom time. This probably won't solve your life, but it might reveal something important about your attention, boredom, boundaries, your relationship with stimulation, and your ability to let the world wait. One push-up can teach restraint. Staying hydrated can teach humility. The bathroom teaches dignity. Not in the glamorous or heroic way, like I said before. The kind of dignity that says even this small corner of life can be reclaimed from the machine. Start there. If you cannot pee without checking your phone, don't panic. You're not spiritually ruined. You're just modern. But modern isn't a life sentence. This has been Idiot Mystic. It's best to leave Sulak unread. Trust me. Oh, and if you want to talk about reclaiming your urination and other fascinating things, check out the Idiot Mystic Discord. You'll find the link in the description and bios and everywhere. And if you enjoyed listening, do subscribe and follow. It's a thing I'm supposed to ask you to do. Hi. Bye. Awkward.